Hello everyone. My topic for today's video is Who Stole My Child? When your child is little, all you want is for them to play alone in their room for an hour so that you can have some peace and quiet. Then they become teenagers. And all you want is for them to come out of their room for an hour and actually talk to you. Today's generation doesn't like others interfering in any of their personal matters. They don't like parents ordering them. And if they try and tell them what's wrong for them, they misbehave with their parents. The question arises that what is the reason behind that? Is it the generation gap? We all often blame it on the generation gap. Generation gap is seen when parents identify with old, similar, familiar, traditional, and the known, while the adolescents become fascinated and influenced by the new, different, unknown, experimental, and unfamiliar. As teens mature, they start to think more abstractly and rationally, and parents of teens may find that kids who previously had been willing to conform to please them will suddenly begin asserting themselves and their opinions strongly and rebelling against parental control. When children grow up, they distance themselves from their parents because they feel their parents don't understand. Well, a teen should be courageous enough to approach his parents and say, "There is something that you don't understand. I want to discuss it with you because it is important to me." However, for the 21st century adolescents, the biggest problem is their inability to effectively communicate their thoughts. Now, fundamentally, children need to change the mindset that parents don't understand the situations that they are going through. Parents don't understand your situation because you haven't told them the complete story. And they simply need to know the whole story to be able to give you a suitable advice. Now, what are the reasons for these conflicts? First, adolescents become bigger and stronger, physically making it more difficult for parents to impose their authority. Also, their increased abilities for thinking make adolescents better arguers, and it becomes tougher for parents to prevail quickly in arguments with their children. Second, parents don't treat their child as their age. There is a very weird analogy which describes children as dogs and teenagers as cats. Have you ever realized children are loyal and affectionate just like dogs? You just feed them, train them, and boss around them. Still, they keep hovering around you. However, teenagers are like cats. Call them, they run away. The more you go towards them, the more they move away. So parents need to realize that their dog is now a cat. Just step back a bit. Be there for them. One day, the cat will again be a dog. Third, children are often expected to be replicas. Parents often have dreams for their children, and a lot of times they tend to force them in that direction without taking into consideration what their child wants. Fourth, comparisons. Comparing children to each other or even to how you were as a child is another mistake we as parents make. Parents must understand that each child has his own individuality, his own potential, his own capacities, and his own interests. Fifth, intolerance. Parents rarely tolerate their adolescents' mistakes. Why do we keep saying, "You're grown up now, behave maturely"? Children need to make mistakes to learn and grow in life. But if they only get punished for it, it stops the two-way communication. Whenever there is a difference of opinion, do not treat it as a power struggle, but use it as an opportunity to discuss issues and increase the communication and understanding in the relationship. Now, how do we bridge the gap that has been created? First, keep an open mindset. Parents often feel they understand because they've been through that age. However, that's not true. In any generation, the way children think is always different from how a parent thinks. Times keep changing. So parents need to keep an open mind so that they can better understand their children. Second, listen. When you listen to your child's thoughts and opinions, it makes them feel that whatever they feel or want matters to you. Having a parent who listens to them too, instead of just lecturing or advising, will encourage them to listen to you too. Third, communicate. While speaking to our children, we are often repetitive, predictable, in their face and loud. Keep in mind to use fewer words in shorter sentences, because the more you talk, the less they listen. Lower your voice, because the louder you are, the less they hear. Keep your hands down, especially when your kid is upset. Hands in face are very provocative to teens. And once the discussion gets hot, you won't get anything good done anyway. So don't hesitate to say, let's continue this tomorrow. Also, do not bring up past grievances or faults that they have done during your discussions. That's not going to help. Fourth, unconditional love. However grown up the child is, the unconditional love of parents is always the need of a child. Hug them, even if they don't like it. Touch is so important, it melts down all the stresses. Fifth, rules and limits. Set enforceable limits and explain to them the reason behind these rules. Be an authoritative parent who sets limits and at the same time encourages communication. However, once a rule is set, do not stretch your limits, rather enforce the rules. Sixth, apply consequences with empathy. Most adults find it difficult to deliver empathy when a child has misbehaved. Pick just one empathetic response you can have each time you want to discipline. For instance, you have set a home rule that each family member has to wash his own dishes. Your teenager resists it and does not follow the rule. Use empathy and say, I know, sweetheart, this is going to hurt, but you won't be served your meal as your dishes are not washed. And try not to leave any food behind. Stick to the rules. Seventh, pick your battles. Maybe you don't like your teen's haircut or choice of clothes. But before you step in, look at the big picture. If it's not putting your child at risk, give her the leeway to make age-appropriate decisions and learn from the consequences. Of course, be there for guidance and comfort, but challenge yourself to step back and let your child know that you are there for them. 8. Teach yourself self-control. When both you and your child are upset, communication does not happen. Remember, you are the parent and the tone setter of the home. So keep your cool and walk away. Let your child come back and talk to you. Let him realize what wrong he did, rather than you raising your volume to pacify them or explaining them how to behave. Number 9. Trust your teenager. If, as a parent, you have taught them time management, responsibilities, and set boundaries for them in early years of life, then you don't need to worry. Just trust the values that you've given them. For instance, your daughter has an exam at 8 in the morning. You don't need to keep shouting at her to sleep early so that she can wake up early, or start lecturing early in the morning to wake up so that she can reach well on time. Just let her be. Remember, you have taught your daughter about time management. Now let her manage things or let her face the consequences. 10th, don't talk to others. Don't call up others to talk about your issues with your child. Your friends and relatives are just going to sympathize. They are not going to give you solutions. Rather, it's going to spoil your relationship with your child because you are ruining their image in front of others. 11th, and the last one, make an extra effort to set a good example at home and at public. Children are like a mirror. What they see and hear, they do. Be a good reflection to them. Model the ability to apologize, to set an example. Parents need to take the first step to relation building at this stage. The child's interest is usually directed towards the outside world, that is his peer group. They might close their ears to your advice, but they open their eyes to your examples. Ask yourself honestly if you are enhancing your relationship with your child or if you are contributing to their problem. As hard as it might be for us to watch our teenagers are going to make mistakes. When they do, our anxious over-involvement won't help. But what will help is our calm presence. No doubt about it. Your teenager will test your limits and your patience. But they're still your child. Remember that your teen still wants you in his life and that you are important to him as a source of support and encouragement. Now, if by the end of this video you are thinking that being a great parent requires limitless amount of patience, you're wrong. You need more than that. That's all for now. Thank you for watching my video and take care. Do share the video in case you like it. And don't forget to subscribe my channel for viewing new videos. Bye-bye.